What up deeps, this is DoubleDragon with no nonsense, no bullshit boss guides on every Pandaria raid. Whether you're tanking, healing or DPS, I have got you covered. This is a 3-phase fight. Phase 1. So first of all, spread out. Melee won't need to obviously, but ranged, be sure you're at least 10 yards away from any other player. During the fight, these 2 yellow swirly zones will appear. They'll have health bars, but you can't attack them. They lose health every time you cast a spell, and that's a good thing. However, you don't want both swirly zones to die at the same time, because when they do die, they'll hurt your entire raid with a hefty bit of damage. So in order to accelerate one swirly zone's death rate, you need a raid member to stand in the field, and they should only be doing this if they have a debuff called Cry of Terror. So you get hit by the debuff. It means you need to run to a pre-assigned swirly zone, one your raid leader has picked as the target. Then you just need to stand there and cast spells, bearing in mind that you can't receive heals while in the swirly zone, so only step out if A, your debuff has worn off, or B, you are literally one tick from dying, so after a heal, you just step back in. Phase 2. Adds are going to spawn on both sides of the room. Sometimes they might fixate on you, but they're so slow that it shouldn't be a problem. Just be sure to kite them away from the other ads. Interrupt the wind blades whenever possible. And if you see the tank is covered in green stuff, then go stand next to him for a second and get the green stuff too. It'll give you a damage buff. And please don't stand in front of the ads. Burn down the wind blades first, single target DPS. You want all the wind blades to die at roughly the same time. Now there's a mechanic involving void zones that's difficult to explain, and it might make you panic if you're not 100% sure on how it works, but I'll try and simplify it as much as possible. Throughout this phase, these orange globs will appear. Now, if you walk into an orange glob, it'll vanish from the floor and you'll have a debuff that slows you down and hurts you. If that happens, the only way to remove it is to walk over another glob, which will turn into a void zone. So you'll see a glob of orange appear on the ground, and as soon as you do, you'll want to pick it up and deposit it into an orange void zone, or assuming there aren't any, another orange glob. The tanks will handle the rest, assuming you've done it correctly. Phase 3. This phase is quite similar to the first one, but the boss should be in the middle of the room. If it isn't, then tell your tanks that the boss should be in the middle of the room. You can either stack behind the boss with everyone else, or spread out like before. It's up to your group. When you get a debuff called Visions of Demise, you have 4 seconds to move out of the group before it fears you and anyone you're close to. Once those 4 seconds have elapsed, feel free to dispel the fear debuff. Optionally, you can blast it into your group and then just do an instant mass dispel before everyone gets feared away. Well, I don't recommend it because your group might not know what they're doing. When the boss lays down a massive purple cone of smoke, move out of it, because there's a good chance he'll turn around and try to blast your sacked group. Last during this phase, and a burn. Let's recap. Spread out and move into the swirls to negate the debuff's effects. Kite if you're fixated during the second phase, and interrupt the wind blades. Stack the 5 globs together. Phase 3, move from the group if you're debuffed, move from the smoke, and win. That's it. Click the annotation you see on screen for the boss you need to kill next. If you're a tank, click. If you're DPS, click. If you're a healer, click. Subscribe and all future boss guides will come right to you. Like on Facebook for heads up on all my upcoming projects. Leave comments about alternative strats. Like if you liked the video, dislike it. If you disliked it, that is what it is there for. Go for it.